I do a absolute ton of wild camping, and so many of you have been requesting a little video on how I sleep, what my sleep setup is, what my tent is, my sleeping bag and everything like that. So I'm going to go over all of that now. Let's go. Hello fellow hiker and world traveller, Russ here, bringing you the best tips and inspiration for hiking around the world. As you can see behind me, I have my Z-Pack Solplex tent as well as all of my other gear behind me. So I'm going to crack all of that open now. I'm going to set it up and show you exactly how I sleep on those long and lonely nights. If you are interested in learning more about all of the gear in this video, then I will have gear reviews and setup videos in the description below, as well as in the cards up here throughout the video. In my pack here, I have my Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite. It's a fantastic little inflatable sleeping pad, as well as my Katabatic Gear 30-degree Palisade down sleeping quilt. These, as well as my tent, are basically the main items of the setup, so I'm going to show you how I set those up now. Okay, so the Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite basically comes in this really cool little stuff sack, nice and simple. You just pull it out, unravel it, and that's basically it. It's just this long kind of yellow plastic inflatable sleeping pad. On the inside there is Mylar, so it's going to keep you warm on the cold nights and cool on the warm ones. It's got this little screw top valve on it, so I'm just going to blow that up now. Let's go over here. It doesn't take long to blow up at all, and it's very easy and quick. When it starts to blow up, almost inflated, actually put my tongue on the end of the valve to stop the air coming out. Just like that, put my finger on it, and then as it's nearly blown up, I'm just going to keep blowing air into the valve, and then as I'm blowing air in, then screw it up so it's really nice and firm. Very quick, took me about 20 or 30 puffs, didn't actually count, but basically that's it. And this is actually quite a noisy way of doing it. It's a bit of a noisy sleeping pad, but there you go, the NeoAir Thermarest X-Lite is up and ready to go. Just gonna grab you over here and plonk you here for a second. Okay, this is the Z-Pack Solplex tent. It's all done up. Nice firm pitch. I'm actually quite proud of this pitch today, but now we've got the Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite all done. It's now time to just basically open the tent, open up the door all the way. Really nice big rainbow door, and then you just simply slot this bad boy in. If it was a wet and windy night, then I would have set up the tent, got straight in with all of my gear and actually blown up the NeoAir X-Lite inside the tent. That's basically what I usually do, but for the purposes of this video, I need to give you a nice big overview. So there you go, that's basically it. The X-Lite is in. It's a perfect size. I'm about 5'7" and my feet don't come off the end of the sleeping mattress. It's a really good one, really comfy. And I actually strongly advise that you do blow it up quite firm, because once you're rested on there, it makes it a lot more comfortable. Now the mattress is all blown up, you can actually just plonk your butt down on it like that, and you're almost ready to go. I'll just take my shoes off for the purposes of getting in the video. This is my Katabatic Gear 30-degree down sleeping quilt. It crunches down really small. It's very comfy. It's not built all the way around the back. I have a full review of this sleeping quilt, so if you want to check that out, then click the video just up here. So yeah, basically just going to plonk this in here, undo the little clip, flatten it all out, and as you can see, just a perfect little bed now. I'm pretty much in. I'm pretty sure that the Katabatic Gear quilt that I have here is designed specifically for a sleeping mattress like this, and I'll show you why. In the huge storage bag that this quilt comes with, it actually comes with these kind of long yellow cords with little clips on them, and a little piece of webbing with a clip on it as well. I actually never use this, but what this is for attaching to the sleeping quilt, which has all of these little tabs on it, and then you actually wrap it around your sleeping mattress so that it actually keeps your sleeping quilt nice and snug and it doesn't actually move around you. But the reason why I don't use these is because of the way that I sleep, and most of you are going to think that this is absolutely bloody weird. Let's grab you a little bit closer to my boudoir. Okay, so before I show you exactly how I sleep, I haven't actually got my own pillow. I don't carry an inflatable pillow. I just feel like it's another thing to blow up. And I've got all the stuff that I can use as a pillow right here on me, and I always carry a nice thick down puffy jacket and a couple of other items of clothing. In the winter I'll probably even have more, but basically the tent comes in this really nice little DCF stuff bag, and it's really quite a soft and malleable material, even though it's very, very strong. And for a pillow, all I do is just stuff my down puffy jacket inside this stuff sack, or I'll even use the DCF pod that my HMG 2400 Windrider is designed to use, but sometimes I don't carry that anymore. So there we go. Now that my down puffy jacket is inside this stuff sack, I've got my own comfy little pillow. So I'll just plop that at the end of my little bed here. Just bend the camera down a little bit. Oh, look at that. Okay, all right, I'm getting in. So the reason why I don't use the cords that this came with is because I'm actually neither a side sleeper or a back sleeper. Some people sleep like they're in a frickin' coffin like this, and I can't sleep like that. I end up just kind of like needing to roll around a little bit if I'm like that. Some people sleep on their side like this. You know, that's quite comfortable. It's a bit more comfortable than sleeping on my back. But the problem with the quilt is it doesn't have a back. But none of this is a problem for me because I sleep in such a very odd way. So I'll be using my pillow for a bit, and when I think I'm just about ready to nod off and go to sleep, I'll ditch the pillow, I'll get on my front like that, I'll get this entire quilt, and then I'll wrap it around me like this, and just sleep like that. And that's literally it. Oh, yeah, that's very, oh yeah, I could actually fall asleep right now. Because this is open like this, and I'm sleeping like this, and I've got my arms kind of tucked underneath me, I'm just cocooned in this really thick, down, puffy sleeping quilt. And I actually end up falling asleep so quickly like that. I don't even need a pillow. I'll just sleep like this. If it gets a bit hot, kind of get it out a bit like that. Oh, I've got a really big bug here. But yeah, I'll just kind of like, if I get a bit hot, just stick my arm out like this, or stick a leg out, my legs flying around a bit. And that's basically it. That's how you pitch a tent, sleep in it like that. There's some people over there and they've just like seen me making this video about how to fall asleep. Right, they're going now. Hello, I'm teaching people how to set up a tent. I'm not out here just for fun. It is the smallest one of its class, yeah. The good one. Do you like camping? I have a YouTube channel called The Trail Hunter. Give it a follow and tell me what you think. You too. Okay, so this is me in the tent, and I'm 5'7". I don't actually know the exact dimensions of this tent because I checked out online what they were. Because Z-Packs don't actually sell this tent anymore, there's no information on it. And I haven't bothered to measure it. But I'm 5'7". I'm on my NeoAir X-Lite, got the sleeping quilt here, and then at the bottom of the tent, you can actually see there's plenty of room to put my pack. If there's condensation in the tent, it will actually run off and kind of drip on my bag a little bit, but it's better than keeping it outside in the rain. So yeah, it's kind of quite good. The condensation on this tent design can actually be a bit of a pain, but it just runs off down the side of the tent, down out through the bug mesh that's around the perimeter of the tent, and I never actually get wet. So nice of you to all hop into bed with me. But I absolutely love this setup. It's a beautiful way to experience the outdoors and prop my head up with me pillow. This DCF little stuff sack is actually quite comfortable with the down puffy jacket in it, so it's quite good. And that's all you need really, just a pad or an inflatable mattress. Quilt's good for the hot days and the cold nights. I tend to leave my shoes outside the tent and just leave them in the vestibule under the storm door, just in case they're all muddy. You don't want getting too much dirt in here. It is really important to try and keep the inside of your tent as clean as possible. Inevitably dirt and things will get in, but the cleaner you keep it, the happier you'll be. I've spent about 30 nights in this tent camping in this way, and over time I've just learnt how I like to sleep and what's the most comfortable way for me to sleep. If you're a side sleeper, a quilt maybe isn't the best option for you, but having those little bits of paracord that come with the sleeping quilt to cinch it around the entire sleeping mattress, that's a very good idea and a nice little feature of that particular quilt. Right, so imagine I've just had a very good night's sleep. Now, in the morning, you'd think, okay, this whole process is gonna be like completely different or completely opposite. So I'm gonna show you how I kind of pack everything up. What do you do first? You know, you gotta pack everything up, and I'm just gonna show you exactly what order I do things in. Now, the way I do my morning routine is I don't actually leave the tent until I've got myself completely sorted and ready to leave the tent and all of my stuff's packed up, because if you start trying to pack up all of your stuff outside the tent, a bit of wind could blow something away. At least if everything is inside of your tent, when you're packing it away, you know that you're not gonna lose anything. And if you do leave something inside the tent, you'll end up packing it out with the tent anyway. So the first thing I do is I set up my stove in the vestibule and I boil some water to have one of my dehydrated adventure food meals, or any other thing that I've taken with me, like porridge or trail mix or something like that. Once I've had my breakfast and I'm ready to leave the tent and get everything packed up, the first thing that I do is deflate my NeoAir. That's the first thing. And it's so loud! If you're camping with a lot of people, that's gonna frickin' wake everyone up. Well, I tend to camp alone
most of the time. You've got to kind of shimmy around on it a little bit. Wait till it's all deflated. Almost all there. Just kind of scrunch it up a little bit. You can hear how loud it all is. Very scrunchy and lots of hissing going on. There you go, so that's almost all deflated, but there's always going to be some residual air in the Neo Air. Now I'll just shove my sleeping quilt down the end and I'll get the Neo Air in front of me like this, and I'll start with the thin end first. I'll just put you down there. So I'll start with the thin end first, and then I fold it in half. Okay, so now it's folded in half. There's still some residual air in there, but it's basically where we want it. And now we just end up grabbing it at the end and rolling it as tightly as you can all the way down to the end. And as you go, and you just push the air out. There you go, it's all rolled up, ready to go back into its happy little home. And I like how Thermarest have made this stuff sack, so it's actually larger than it needs to be. You just stuff it in there, pull the line lock adjuster, and it's back in the stuff sack. Okay, so that's the sleeping pad done. Now usually in my pack I'll have like a DCF pack liner, and that goes straight into my backpack. And then my quilt I actually just stuff right in to the bottom of my pack. Just like that. Now what I used to do is actually have like a DCF pod and put my sleeping quilt in that pod, and then that would sit in the bottom of my pack. But I've actually found, after watching a few videos and trying it out myself, that stuffing the sleeping quilt into the bottom of your pack like that actually helps you save a bit more room, because the pack itself and the shape around the inside, with the sleeping quilt on the inside, it actually takes up all the room, and anything else that you put on top of the quilt, it actually allows you to have the quilt in between all of the negative space, and it actually saves a ton of room in your pack. Whereas when I put it in a pod or a stuff sack or something like that, it would always puff up inside the pod and stop me actually being able to put more stuff in my backpack. So the next thing that I do is just pack everything else away while I'm still inside the tent, and what I should end up with is a completely empty tent except for myself and my backpack. That means that it's actually time to get out of the tent and start dismantling it and packing that thing away. I've actually got a complete and utter full setup of this tent video, which I will put in a card up here as well as in the description. Apart from that, that is basically how I sleep. That's my entire sleep system. That's how I set it up. That's how I sleep. You've been able to jump into bed with me for a day, and that's been quite an eventful occasion. I'll say it one more time, follow the links in the description for full reviews and setup videos of all the gear mentioned in this video. Campfire question, how do you sleep? Are you a side sleeper? Are you a back sleeper? Do you sleep just like me? Am I the only one who has this very odd way of sleeping? What gear do you use? What tent do you have? What sleeping quilt? Do you have a closed cell foam pad, or do you use an air mattress? Let us know in the comment section below. The trail hunting community would love to hear from you. Okay everyone, thank you for watching this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and I'll see you in the next one.